The following thoughts and opinions we're going to discuss regarding this album are strictly of our own personal interests. We are not professional music reviewers. We encourage respectful discussion and friendly banter in each episode, but we do not condone and will not tolerate bullying or belligerence. You are welcome to take what we say regarding the albums we rate with a grain of salt.
Well, hey there, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Rate the Record podcast, episode 81.
Yeah, one more than last week.
The tip of my tongue, I nearly said 71, so it's like, no, we're not going back. No, please, God, no.
Pick 10 of them that were the worst and get rid of them.
At this point, I don't even remember what episode 71 was.
I'm going to go ahead and say it was Nirvana, probably.
I go ahead and doubt it. I guess closer and say probably Depeche Mode. I don't even know. Anyways, your very confused hosts for the day are Kris and
Savannah. Yeah.
Hey, look at that. That's us. We're all confused and old and Anyways, thank you very much for joining us today, hanging out on this podcast and listening to music and being part of the musical community like we want you to do. We appreciate your presence. And we would really appreciate, too, if you helped out the channel in any way, shape, or form you could. And you could do things like, subscribe, rate, share, comment, follow. All of those things do help build us up in the algorithm, gets more eyes and ears on the prize, I guess, if you want to consider this a prize. It gets us where we need to be. So the more you do that, the more it helps. So please go ahead and consider doing all of that. And of course, there's also the paid option too. Go to ko-fi.com/ratetherecord. So if you like us enough to actually want to pay for extra stuff like bonus content, early access, and like shout out, and we'll review your band's music and stuff like that, $5 a month, RTR Club, check that out. All of that, including the social media links, streaming links, request an album, merch, found on ratetherecord.ca.
Everything he said, yes.
I wanted to get that all in one go because the more I split it up, the more I wouldn't be thinking about it. I'd forget something.
And inevitably, I'll interrupt you with some sort of witty quip. So good choice.
No, you'll interrupt me with, yeah. Silence for 5 seconds. And that
finger pistol. Yeah.
Exactly what the audio listeners can't get.
I said finger pistol. What, you need an explanation?
You said it as an example at that point, but if you actually did it, you might not even say it.
So you fold 3 fingers down and then you stick one out and you stick one up. You go
stick one up your ass. I got to keep going here. So anyways, if you're new here, chances are you don't know that we bicker this much, but yes, we indeed do. So, hey, welcome to the podcast. We hope you enjoy your stay. Just like the people who have been here before, we're glad to have you back as well. You're damn well aware of our bickering. But anyway, to the new people, though, you probably don't know what we do here on the podcast besides argue a lot. We do talk about music, too, I promise, because each week, Savannah and I, we will choose an album. It could be whatever the hell we want. It's usually a random pick. We also celebrate album anniversaries. Like just recently, we did Public Enemy with their It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. We do requests, we have quite a few coming up this season. Regardless, we will choose an album. We will listen to it front to back, discuss it. We'll rank the songs, and then we rate the record.
That was like the most on time that we've done in a long time.
You said that 4 times over the course of 2 seasons. Just saying.
Well, then we're getting better and better. Good job for following my lead.
Even though in my ears, you said rate like half a second after I did. So that wasn't the best one we've done.
Splitting hairs.
Oh, I will. Because you know why? I kind of have to at this point. I need more order on this podcast.
You're the conductor of this orchestra.
Oh, unfortunately. Anyways, everyone detuned? Good. 1, 2, 3, and then just fart noise happens. Anyways, welcome to episode 81. And this is the first time in season 5 that we're bringing back an artist. Correct. Yes, I had to make sure we've only done 2 episodes up to this point.
Yes.
We're bringing back an artist for the first time since season 1. It's been quite a while, but we are reintroducing Queens of the Stone Age to the podcast. Yeah. As I'm wearing on my shirt here, I just found this in storage. It's been a long time. I forgot I had this, but it's very fitting for this particular album because today we're looking at their 2007 album, Era Vulgaris.
Yeah.
And you have
5 seconds of silence. Yeah.
Oh man, I called you out pretty hard, didn't I?
Yes. The only Queens of the Stone Age, and if you listen to the episode in season 1, I'm sure I said it then as well. This is literally, aside from maybe a couple singles that they've released over the decades, this is the most that I've ever listened to them. So if I end up a fan, it's your fault.
Well, you weren't exactly a fan of Rated R back when we did that. Oh, in episode 11, for Christ's sake, that was so long ago.
Dang. Wow. Okay.
But also wondering if any of the audience of watching this one right now is one the audience of watching my massively successful I Love This Song video where I did You Can't Quit Me, Baby.
Probably. They're like, ooh, I have to know what other hot takes he has.
Does he really like Vulgaris? Yeah. You're just like, well, who the hell is she? She wasn't in that video. It's like, no, she wasn't. You know, I love it.
I'm the color commentator. You're the play-by-play. Everyone listens to you. I'm just witty quips and sexual innuendos.
I don't want to be Michael Cole. Well, anyways.
I'll be the king. But we're not doing the king. We're doing queens.
I was gonna say it's okay. Yeah. Good transition there because I was just gonna go on how Jerry the King Lawler is probably sexist. Anyways, I mean, go back to the Attitude Era. But
yeah, we need a second podcast. My God. Okay, sorry. Okay.
I don't remember wrestling enough to do it anymore.
Continue.
But yes, Queens of the Stone Age for episode 81. We are bringing them back for the first time in a very long time. We're doing Era Vulgaris. And so, because we've done them before, usually this is where I read like a little biography of the band and then talk about the album. I'm going to do a very condensed version of the biographies since I more or less did it the first time. So I'm going to skip a bunch of stuff. Hope you understand. Let's get into it. So Queens of the Stone Age is an alternative rock band originally from Seattle, Washington, founded by the only original member of the band, singer and multi-instrumentalist Josh Homme. For the sake of today's album, though, the band also consists of multi-instrumentalist Troy Van Leeuwen and drummer and percussionist Joey Castillo. Queens would release their debut album on Stone Gossard of Pearl Jam, by the way. There's another callback for our show. His label, Loose Groove Records, in 1998. In 2000, Queens ended up on Interscope Records, where they would release their follow-up album, Rated R, which is the one we've covered previously. Following that, in 2002, Queens released one of their most prolific albums to date, and probably the most memorable one they have, Songs for the Deaf, which we'll probably have to do one day as well, another huge album by them. And that would be followed by Lullabies to Paralyze in 2005, and then finally to the subject of today's album. So Era Vulgaris was released in June 2007 through Interscope Records and Records, and that Records has a K in it too, so that's what makes it just slightly different. It was recorded at 3 different studios in Los Angeles, including Cherokee, Steakhouse, and Sound City. Steakhouse, okay. Anyways, I don't even think that's the weirdest name I've ever heard. The album was produced by Chris Goss and Josh Homme, who also go by the production name of the Fififteeners. It's like Fififf. The 515ers, the Fififteeners. Regardless, that's what Wikipedia told me at the very least.
Smokes.
The album was met with mixed reviews, but more positive leaning. Metacritic has it as a 75. Spin rated it 4.5 out of 5. Uncut, Rolling Stone, and our good friends over at All Music gave it 4 out of 5. This album also had many contributions from fellow musicians such as Alan Johannes, Chris Goss, again the producer, Julian Casablancas from The Strokes, Serena Sims, Brody Dahl of The Distillers, who's also Josh's ex-wife right now, who at this time he's still in a pretty bad custody battle with, Liam Lynch, and Mark Lanigan of The Screaming Trees. So
Lynch. Oh my God.
My United States or whatever.
Right?
I said, yeah, punk. He said, yeah, whatever. So, though the album never hit number 1 on the charts, it did go number 2 on the Belgian charts and the UK rock and metal charts. It also made the top 5 in Australia, Austria, Canada, Germany, New Zealand, Norway, Scotland, Switzerland, and the US. The album went gold twice, once in the UK and once in Canada. So yeah, we even beat out the US on that one. Pretty cool. The album produced 3 singles, 666, 3s and 7s, which also went to number 1 in the UK, by the way, and Make It With Chew.
Cool. I think out of and I say this during the review, I recognize right away 1 out of 3 singles.
Is it Make It With Chew?
It is. Yeah. It is. And one of them, I'm like, this vaguely sounds familiar, and the other one, don't remember it at all.
If I don't remember to, remind me that when we get to Make It With Chew, I have another fun story to tell.
Excellent. I love stories.
It's a very cringy, embarrassing story on my part, but I felt it was super, super appropriate.
Oh my God, finally. I can look at you and go, ew.
And no, it's not another Channel Zero porn story like back in the Public Enemy episode. No, there's no porn in this one, but there is, let's just say, shenanigans. It's appropriate. Okay. It's appropriate for the podcast. It's fine.
I like how you front load it. How am I going to wait like 6 or 7 songs?
Easy by because we're going to start now and get there eventually. So song number 1, Turning on the Screw.
Okay, so I like the drum beat so far. Super big fan of the guitar slides and sort of the atmospheric sort of music to lean into or to start the song, really. And kudos on the like the vocals sound processed, but not in an irritating, like this sounds robotic way. They're still processed, but clean. I don't know.
And it sounds
like
layered too. It sounds layered.
Yeah, super down for that.
From the way that you're building that up, I thought you were gonna be like, love the drums, love this guitar song, but the vocals. And I was waiting to call you up, and then you're like, no, they're not bad. I'm like, okay, cool. Well,
yeah, I like when it's clean because I make note a couple songs later, maybe that I've never really liked that sort of distorted, like what is it, condenser mic, the silver one you hold in your hand and you start singing into, or is that dynamic? I don't remember.
Probably condenser,
but it's like a rockabilly looking microphone, you know? The way that those kind of sound with the distortion, it's just like, I don't know, grating.
Don't listen to Frail State then. Do not.
Well, no. If you're supposed to understand the lyrics and it's distorted, annoying. If you're not supposed to understand and it's supposed to be distorted, then I understand.
Don't listen to Frail State then.
Listen to it. He needs the money.
You can understand the lyrics. I'm not confident in myself, so that's why I use distortion. It fits the mood, okay? It fits the fucking mood.
It does. If you call it industrial, you could use a cheese grater and you're like, yeah, it's fine. It's like, hear that screaming? Yeah, that was me using a cheese grater on my own skin.
Didn't fucking Marilyn Manson like beat a skunk trap for like as a drum beat on one of his more recent albums?
I did not hear that.
He took like an old rusty skunk trap and like just started batting it. So like, hey, you know what? If it gives you a cool percussive sound, why not? Right? I'd do it.
So what did you think about this song?
Oh yeah, I forgot we're doing this. Anyways, going back to that drum groove. It's a really simple one to get us all started, and also I love the guitar that like riffs the riff that opens up with it as well. It goes through most of the verse too, so that's really cool. The bass behind that complements the riff really well. The instrumentals are fantastic all over this track, just to start. And yeah, like I love the vocals in this because this is one of a few different styles of vocal you hear Josh do on this album too. Because like this one's like got a softer presentation, if that makes sense. I don't want to say it's a soft song, but like there's no like real like tension in his voice. He's not yelling. It's like very airy, kind of like this, you know, like
that's the word I was trying to think of writing this. Very airy.
I'm sorry if I did like a Michael Jackson type thing there. What the hell? But I do want to make a blanket statement real quick too, because there's something that sounds like about the production that sounds like far more expansive too. And what I mean by that, it's like in the way that you can hear like the reverb off the walls in the studio almost on each instrument, especially like the drums and everything like that. I like it because it really gives it like that DIY type of feeling. So I love how like. Maybe raw is the right word, maybe gritty is the right word, I don't know, but I just love how it's not like the most pristine, clean production, but it works so well here. I like it's got that like good rock sound to it.
Later on in the album, I do mention production and just sort of how I feel about later on, but didn't notice anything about this other than, yay, the vocals, I like those. And normally I have freaking gripes with them, but yay. The main guitar riff is growing on me slowly. It was an interesting way to start the album, only because one, never heard it before. Two, I'm not really familiar with the band like as a whole. And I'm kind of curious of what's to come because like I'm not familiar with, if you hear a single from someone like a band that you know, you're like, oh, you know, some of the songs or most of the songs are going to kind of sound like this. I don't know if it's going to sound all like, I've been calling them cranky chords because it feels like they were going to play chords and then they thought, no, let's replace every note in this chord with a different note. And then that's what they play. So I'm curious to see what's coming up. At least I was during this song.
It's funny that you mentioned that because just last night, actually, I was at a concert last night. The night before, I was watching this kind of song by song breakdown of this album with Josh, like talking about it on radio. And one thing he does mention about like the entire album is the fact that like he really loves like these weird dissonant sounds on the guitar. He literally referred to it as sexy. So like, and he said he like went out of his way to incorporate it into a lot of the songs. So when you hear stuff like that, it's because he's sitting there like, this has to be done.
Yeah. So it's not that he stumbled upon something, was like, oh, this sounds good. He's like, this sounds good, but let's make it crazier.
So any notes you have moving forward about that is it was very, very, very much on purpose. And he was sitting there probably just like, oh, this is good.
Well, with the amount of times I mentioned it, I can imagine it would be on purpose, or it's just his style. It's just what he does.
Well, I mean, his style kind of changes like from album to album, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, the buzzy sense really works on this track too. I like how it has like more of a, I don't want to say standout, but it's definitely like there to kind of like drive everything. It's quiet, but it feels necessary. It fits right in. And I do like the dizzying guitars towards the end of the track too. I thought those were pretty cool. It makes everything feel really unhinged as we go into the end of the track. So I don't know, just a lot of fun and a lot of energy to start off the album.
That last bit like sounds like a drill or something like cyclical. Yeah. Because like I look at the song title, I'm like, well, it's really easy to connect that thought with the title. There you go, pieces together. But just listening to it, just with my eyes closed, it sounded like I was tumbling down a grassy hill or in a tire or something. So I don't know. I'm sure it fits somewhere. I'm sure everything's done purposefully.
I would very much think so, especially after watching that breakdown thing last night, or again, a couple nights ago. Anyways, we'll move on now to song number 2, Sick, Sick, Sick.
Okay, so this one, vague memories. I don't know what's less than vague, but that's what it is. Yeah, this song for me, quite danceable from the get-go. Kind of has like a poppy sensibility to it that appeals to me. It's a little more bouncy. I like that. Now, listening to this, I could not get another song out of my head. And it's just the way that some of the, I don't really know if it's the music or just the vocal melody, but it's definitely All My Life by the Foo Fighters. There's parts of it that I can hear, and apparently other people think so as well, because there's a small Reddit thread and someone made a mashup of the All My Life lyrics and Dave Grohl's vocals on this music.
I wonder which came out first. I actually don't know, because I know the song All My Life by the Foo Fighters. After last week's episode, I'm not really familiar with anything that's not The Color and Shape at this point.
That came out in 2002. So this one, Foo Fighters came out first.
Well, I mean, who knows? Because I also know that, Dave and Josh are pretty good friends too. And Dave has literally been Josh's drummer for at least for Songs of the Deaf, or for the Deaf, I should say. It's you mentioned the dancing thing. That's another thing that they mentioned in the breakdown too, with that people have told Josh, like, this is like the Queens of the Stone Age dance record. And he's just like, yeah, it kind of is. I want people to be able to shake their ass to it. So
yeah, hell yeah.
So if you can feel like you're dancing at any point in this album, that's another very purposeful type thing too.
Perfect.
But yeah, I love that dissonant guitar chord that kind of like drives through almost the entire song too. It's like it's cool and strong sounding, like as a punch. And it's kind of like right on the vocals match it, and it also allows like the drums to get a little more playful too, like with the kick drums and everything like that. So I kind of like how there's still something behind the guitar happening too, so that's a lot of fun. I love the bass riding behind it in the verses too, because it gives the song just like an even cooler flow. So it's not just these constant stabs of like guitar, dan, 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 because then like the bass is just running the entire time. Yeah. So I really like that. That's cool. And no, I'm going to save that note for last. So I'll let you go, because I got a note about something coming up a little later in the song.
Excellent. I only have 2 more. Usually I don't like songs that sound the same from start to finish, and trust me, you will hear about it later on. But I find that a fun and bouncy beat can keep my attention a lot longer. This album, so far, off to a great start. And I think, again, it's a fun song. I don't have any more comments on it other than I would totally listen to it again. Excellent. And this is probably why it was a single.
More than likely, yes. Very catchy. As a matter of fact, the chorus alone, like the whole song's kind of catchy because it's just like the rhythm of it, but like the chorus is like super, super catchy, easily singable. Love the intensity and the energy build up behind it. So it's great.
Do you think that after doing this podcast that we would have the credentials to be A&R people? It's like, yeah, that's the single. Yeah, this sounds good. Yeah, that's it. Do you think we could reach like God tier reviewers and just straight up like talent scout? You think that's a possibility?
I don't think so, because like I don't even know if I'd want to be anyways, because then people will just like we'd be like the easiest targets for anything and everything.
We would be gods. Here, take our tapes. And I go, no, email it to my secretary. And they go, please take my EPK. And I go, no.
I would love to be that kind of person for like Ipecac Records, because there's a lot of bands on that label that I like too. So, and I think we've at least covered 2 of them on the show by now. Just can't remember off the top of my head.
Is Faith No More one of them?
I don't know if it's Faith No More. I think they're on a different label. Maybe Tomahawk, though. They might be an Ipecac. And I know, like, I think Patton has a hand in that label, too. I can't be 100% certain about that, so I can't be quoted. But I will say, so as you're kind of looking that up, because I can see that you are, I'll mention, too. Yeah. So after the chorus, and it only happens a couple times, is this, like, super cool guitar riff that happens like the bridge the chorus into the next verse type thing. It also happens towards the end of the song too. It's how is that not one of the coolest things you could ever hear? I fucking love that riff. It's so cool. It appears a couple of times and it's so welcome each time too. It's like it's the perfect transistor, because I mean, like the verse and the chorus sound pretty similar with the guitar. But then these bridges are like really break it up in like the most fun way. So I really appreciate stuff like that.
That was all I had for that song.
Then I'll just say, because the last note too I had, although I kind of hinted at it earlier, was the unsung hero of the song being the drums. As much as this song was fun, there's like good shit all over it. Like I just love the punchiness of the drums, the pace, the tone, especially because again it's got kind of like that grittier, grimy, muddy kind of production style. It's not like super crisp and clean. I love that. It gives the song a lot of life, and despite the song having a lot of life already, so that just kind of, you know, puts another cherry right next to other cherry on top of the cake.
Apparently maraschino cherries, the way they make those is gross.
They make maraschino cherries?
Yeah. They like
grow them or actually make them?
They make them like with like the syrup and they dye them and stuff like that. Apparently they're terrible to eat. Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah.
And I know my mom occasionally, when she'll have like a gin drink of sorts, she doesn't really drink all that much anyways, but when she does, sometimes she'll have a gin drink. Fancy. And she'll pour that little syrup in there and cherries it with it too. She mixes it in with like juice too. But then I'll be like, maybe don't eat those, and she'll be like, why? I'll be like, I don't know, the internet told me.
The Google told me that. They're going to turn into a boomer just sharing all this wrong information, but in real life and not on Facebook.
I have to tell one, like as a boomer to another boomer, I got to tell you why this is wrong.
Yes, exactly.
But then she'll go like boomer back on me and be like, you kids are too damn paranoid, and then she'll
just chugs the whole
like
thing.
She's Stone Cold Steve Austin's 2 jar of maraschino cherries and just pours it all over and everything like that. And
she cracks them; they get all over the kitchen floor.
Just like shards of glass and like thick syrup everywhere. I'm just like, I'm gonna like moonwalk out of the kitchen so I don't step on anything.
And goodbye. See, perfect time for finger pistols.
There you go. See that, audio listeners? Finger pistols. There's your cue for whatever.
Yeah, did you see that? All right.
All right, moving on to song number 3 now. I'm Designer. There you go. I said it properly.
Okay, so I'm just going to start right off and say I really like the speak singing. I think it's a little more intimate than just singing, because it feels like someone's sort of just talking to you, but they're listening to music, so they can't help but slide into the singing kind of thing.
You're hooked on the rhythm suddenly.
I'm down for it. Not a fan of the distortion on the vocals, not just here, but most often everywhere. That's just personal preference. Didn't really knock it for that. But whatever it lacked in points because of the vocal distortion, it gained in his pronunciation of bagage. I like that. I heard it the first time. I was like, what was that? And I went back and went, ooh, very witty. I like it.
And I also like the drop he uses when he says it too. We've all got our own style of bagage.
I love it. It's like a lounge crooner.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
I guess I can kind of attest to the lyrics of that a little bit too, and I'll say like again to people who don't know, we don't really do a lyrical analysis, but because I watched that breakdown video the other day, like it's easier for me to recall a lot of this information, especially with the lyrics, so I can at least go back to that. But yeah, this song, although he says like as much as he loves his generation because he's a part of it, the song is kind of like in a way just pointing out all the bullshit, how people just want like fame over the most things that don't really deserve fame type thing. You want to be famous for nothing. It's like, I was like, yeah, like millennials and Gen Z do that all the fucking time. I mean, like, what do you think TikTok is for these days?
Is he Gen X?
Yes, he is.
Oh, yeah, yes.
So he's in that forgotten generation that somehow gets away with everything.
Right?
The only people who criticize Gen X are literal Gen Xers.
Yeah. Yeah, and boomers are just going to criticize everybody, even if the Gen Xers are the ones like helping them hang on.
They especially hate millennials, though. I'll say that much. That for some reason once they stop picking on their own kids, they went for the grandkids at that point, and that's where we are.
It's not our fault that you made the technology to make life easier for us. We're just smarter to have used it,
and we improved it.
Exactly. And they're just mad that they didn't think of it themselves.
Yeah, but they'll still take the credit, though, if you give them a second. They'll find a way.
Every generation hates the other generations. It's like a sports team at this time.
Yeah, Gen Z sucks. Hey, kids, go to bed. Stop watching this podcast. How many times on this podcast have I actually like told kids to go to bed?
Over a dozen for sure.
There was that one Will Wood request where I definitely said it like 10 times. It's like, stop fucking watching. This isn't kissing. Go to bed.
Stop listening. Yep.
But yeah, I do love the quirky guitar riff that kind of drives to the track and all that. I really like it. I love how weird it feels. And I love how it has like a slight bend to it as it keeps going through too, and like it kind of gives it a little more character. And again, as I mentioned earlier, Josh likes that idea of like this dissonance, and sometimes something will sound slightly out of tune, and he kind of liked that, so he kept it in type thing. So I like those types of things though, because he's right. It feels playful. It is pretty cool to use, especially if used properly.
So I only have a couple more notes for this. I figured I'd give you a warning. Now, this is the second song that I've heard, not from them, but just in general, that says, I will not repeat myself more than once. Like he says, I will not repeat myself, and then says it a second time. Okay, there's something about that is just joyous and pleasing to me. I'm like, irony. And I love that. I love it so much. And every time I hear it, I love it. But what I've noticed just from the 3 songs that were into this album, I don't want to say that these songs sound the same because they don't, but they feel like twins or triplets, where each one of them has their distinct and their own identity, but you can look at them and know they're siblings. It's like the vibe I get from these songs, they're from the same band, it's the same songwriter. It's just sort of that vibe. And I'm at this time of me writing for I'm Designer, I'm like, oh my God, the whole album's going to sound like this. I hope not. But we'll see as we get farther in if I still feel that way.
I wouldn't think so. Maybe a couple of tracks, but overall, I wouldn't think so. But yeah, we'll discuss that further as we get there too. And I guess another note worth pointing out too is that in that thing I was watching, Josh had mentioned that like Lullabies of Paralyzed, the previous album to this one, there was apparently some tension in the band because of like disagreements and like artistic stuff and everything like that. So apparently coming into this one, it had been resolved, and but there was 2 years between those albums. So like a lot had probably, like, you could still hear remnants of the old album. As a matter of fact, the song Suture Up Your Future apparently came from the Lullaby sessions. So there's definitely still a connection to that album, but obviously like shit's more resolved here and like more figured out, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why it kind of has its like own sound, but it feels different. And in my own hindsight from other Queen's albums too, like it does feel kind of similar to other albums, but this was the last one that sounds like a Queens of the Stone Age album. And I don't even mean that in a bad way, because then like after this, what was it? Like Clockwork, I think, that came out a few years later. Fantastic album, but if you put that one next to this one, like it's almost like 2 worlds apart. Like it's
really
maybe certain similarities, but like God, they're both so good in their own way. But back to I Am Designer though. Yeah, I love how playful the vocal melodies are, as I kind of like hinted to earlier, and when you mentioned the bagage thing.
Yeah.
I love the verses and how amusing that they're presented, and like, although he said he didn't want to be so finger pointy towards his own generation, like that's pretty much what the song feels like. So I kind of like how self-deprecating he is in that way. Oh look, a millennial who likes self-deprecating shit. I also like
What
how
a surprise.
I also like how the chorus fills out like the whole soundscape, because like in the verses it feels a little more minimal, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but like the chorus, it feels like everything just kind of comes in and fills out the gaps. I like that. And yeah, I do like that message of like, just sleaziness and vanity and everything like that. And it still translates well today, even with like millennials and Gen Z. We all have our own faults. We all just do it differently. So whatever. It's good timeless stuff for the most part. So hey, why not?
Yeah, as a whole, we may have faults, but individually, faultless.
Because remember, after this album came out, YouTube blew up. We had Vine, we have TikTok, we have countless forms of social media. So tell me again how we're not always trying to find the shittiest ways to fame. Do the Paul brothers or whatever, the Paul brothers not exist? There's probably a bunch of other creators I'm not even thinking of because I don't pay attention to any of them.
You know, Logan Paul's a part-time wrestler now.
Yeah, and he's in the WWE. Didn't he win like Money in the Bank or something?
I have no idea, but maybe.
I would be, like, I don't watch WWE anymore. I stopped a while ago, but if I was still watching now, that would make me stop. That would make me stop.
I don't watch WWE, but I keep up with Logan Paul.
No, fuck no. Oh my god. For some reason, it still keeps popping up on my Instagram feed as if I give a shit. So like, that's why I know about this. I'm like, I haven't watched this in forever. Why is Logan Paul fighting Seth Rollins? Like, what's happening here? And apparently they fought at WrestleMania. I'm like, he got a WrestleMania spot? How long has he been training? Isn't he a boxer?
He's actually kind of good though.
Is he?
Like athletically, yes, for sure.
Well, he's still a young, spry guy, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like late 20s, but still, Jesus Christ.
But is he a good wrestler, though?
He is a good sports entertainer. There you go. He's a good
Vince
sports
McMahon
entertainer.
keyword.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, they're talking about all this like degenerate fame. We're going right into the hollow, aren't we? So
yeah. Oh my God.
Song
yes.
number 4, Into the Hollow. I mean, that one actually fits though.
Okay, so this song keeps consistent energy throughout, which personally I would rate at a 6 out of 10 on the intensity scale. So it's not as like, super crazy banging, but it's also not a ballad. It's kind of right there in the middle, a little bit of breath of fresh air. I bet someone has slowed this song down and turned it into like a ballady song. If they haven't, they should. I think that would sound good if it was like just tempo down a little bit.
We need to stop repurposing old songs. That's a trend right now, and it's fucking annoying.
Oh my God, TikTok and their whole like house music 80s stuff.
I can't stand it personally.
I love it.
Like,
I love it.
Especially when like there's that new kind of subgenre on TikTok now of where like you'll speed up a song and that makes it famous again.
No, that's annoying.
It is, but like that's what's happening. I was like, just listen to the song at regular speed. It's fine, I promise. And also there's no chipmunk voice. That's fine too.
I was gonna say, check the sales for an Alvin and the Chipmunks album, and then you'll see. You'll see.
Yeah, if
they
you guys
tried.
If y'all motherfuckers ain't like overbuying Alvin and the Chipmunks the Squeakquel on DVD, then you're complete posers. Okay.
Is that what it's called?
That's part 2. Yeah, I think the first one's just Alvin and the Chipmunks, but then the second one was called the Squeakquel. So if y'all aren't like selling that shit out on the internet and in your DVD stores and any flea market that might carry it for less than $1, then you're all a bunch of fucking posers.
The Squeakquel. Oh my God. I cough my lungs out laughing at that.
You can look it up if you want, because I can just talk about a couple more notes. You can fact check me on that one.
No, I'm good. But that is just a very funny name to me. I love that.
It was either that or that was a joke someone made, but I think that's legitimately the name though.
That's fantastic.
But regardless, back to Into the Hollow. I will say this with the song. The chorus isn't necessarily bad. Like I do enjoy it, but it feels a little hollow though. Like, no pun intended. Because like I don't know. Like it's so weird because it carries a feeling of building up, but it never really pays off.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the drums even like are just kind of like on these eighth notes, and like the guitars are strumming along with it, and it's like the vocals are kind of going up in tone, and then
that's a note I have for a song coming up. Yep.
I was gonna say then it just kind of plateaus and like drops. I'm just like, Oh, so like I don't know, that feels weird. It just kind of dips back into the verse again. So I mean, I don't know.
I agree, just not for this song.
I wonder which one it is.
So speaking of squeakquel, I do enjoy the squeaky guitars behind the chorus. The more I listened to this, the more I liked it, and it's definitely one to award more chances to, because I like you're likely to dismiss this one the first go like I did. I've sort of done that with a lot of albums and songs that we have done in the past, where it's like you give it a couple chances and you're like, yeah, this sucks. But then you listen to it on your own time when there's some more like actual time. And then you're like, yeah, I actually like this song. Oh my God, I made a mistake. Never tell Kris. So that's where we're at right now. I would want something a little bit more exciting with like during the pre-outro. I guess it's just a little part before the actual outro. And I give this song 4 sleepies out of 5 hollows.
What a score. First you go from 10, now you're going to 5, and like every song has their own rating system.
And nothing makes sense.
The only thing that matters is the rate the record system that comes later.
Exactly.
Everything else you say is non-canon unless some brave soul out there makes a compilation of every time you rated something on a different scale.
What the hell does she find danceable? None of this makes sense.
My danceable score is this, and people are just like, why?
Yeah.
Huh?
You know that's a lullaby, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm jamming to it.
Yeah, but I'm twerking though. This one's got it, man.
Fucking hell.
They drop a bass in this lullaby. You're listening to like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Jesus Christ. But like a dubstep version that I actually remember what the name of that genre is now.
Oh yeah, it's dubstep. I think you've asked me about that before because you didn't remember the name about it.
Yep. Yeah. How much I listened to it. But yeah, that was it for me for that one.
I will say, yeah, I the guitar's really playful in this one throughout the track, so I like it. Just kind of all over the place. It makes it more interesting to follow along with. Realistically, this song is actually kind of less of a priority for me on this album. That doesn't make it bad by any means, though. Like, I don't really necessarily think there's a bad song on this album, but this one is like, again, like the least priority when I listen to it.
Fair enough.
So, like, if I had the choice, I'd skip it. But if there's no choice, I'll jam to it. I don't care.
You'll just wait for the next song to come up.
Yes, not song number 5, Misfit Love.
Nice. Immediately the song sounds like a dirt bike.
Hell yeah.
I think it's just the guitar, but I'm listening to it and I'm like, no, that's stupid. Then I listen to it again and went, no, it sounds like a dirt bike.
Oh yeah, the growling synth that kind of just starts the song.
Yeah, I just assume everything is guitar. So if I say guitar and it's synth, please correct me. I have absolutely no idea. They really like overplaying the main riff with just moderate embellishments, don't they? They'll play the same riff from beginning to end, but in the middle it's kind of like, well, no, we went on it, or we went I'm like, okay, but you're still playing the main riff for 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, but the thing is, if the riff's fun, then I don't really mind too much, especially because like you have to take in everything else that's happening over top of it as well. So I mean, like, I don't know. I think there's a lot to appreciate out of this one. This song is like dense with layers.
I felt dense listening to it.
Oof. How though? I mean, there's so much good shit happening, so much goodness. Because like there's just layers all over the track, and like they're all really entertaining. They kind of fit in their own right, no matter what they're doing. And then even going to the next verse as well, like how it kind of sounds like the first, but then the vox box kicks in, whatever you want to call it, the vocal box, vox box, where it's like, I want a thrill, I need a thrill, and it's just saying that in the background. It's a really cool addition. I think that's that adds a really cool layer to like the rhythm and melody of the track, and it gives the second verse like way more kick too. So this song is building more and more excitement, but the difference is this one actually has a great payoff towards the end. So this one's a hell of a lot more fun.
You know what? I actually kind of like our dynamic on the show where you take an album like this and you present it and you're like, me like, you listen? And I go, okay, I listen. And then I'm like, me didn't like, and you're like, fuck you. And I'm like, okay, okay, sure. But it's like, you get the opinion of someone who's heard it like multiple times and likes it, and someone who's only heard it a couple of times and is getting berated for not noticing something and probably will never notice it. You're like, but it's rich and atmosphere and the textures. And I'm like, nope, wasn't danceable, sucked.
I have to be the Queens of the Stone Age gatekeeper, okay? I need to call you out when you don't hear like the tiniest layer on song number 8 that only happens for 2 seconds, and it's like also gets kind of if you have it on mono, you don't hear it, so you're not listening to it properly.
Well, speaking of mono,
don't tell me that you have it. I get it. I know.
These songs so far don't feel like they're mixed in surround. Now, I don't expect everything to be, but I feel like I've been blessed with a lot of albums that will mix where it feels like I'm in the center of a ring of musicians. I hear people behind me. I hear people next to me, in front of me. With this album so far, and there have been a couple songs closer to the end of the album that I feel a little differently about, but the generic sort of feeling is I can hear it beside me and in front of me, like I'm standing at a concert. I hear nothing behind me. And there are a couple songs, this one included, I want to hear something behind me. Like I want to be in it. And I felt like I was kind of missing out on that a little bit. I don't know if that was a purposeful choice, but then going to what you said at the beginning of the review, it sounds sort of DIY-ish. So maybe that was a choice.
Well, even though they know what they're doing, though, they've been producing records for a while. But just mean like, God, how do you survive concerts then? Of course you don't hear anything behind you, and you've been to many, so you know what the hell to expect.
Yeah, but I hear like John behind me going, woo, and then singing behind me, so I kind of get the stereo effect, you know?
Well, then just put your phone on like something else behind you while you're listening to the music, so it sounds like you're at a show.
Okay, so next review I do, I'm going to buy multiple phones. I'm going to hang them from one of those umbrella hats and have it all around my head playing at the exact same time.
Can they all be playing different songs, like from different genres and different bands?
Yes.
And
yes, they can.
And they have to play through the entire album too. Like put on a ceiling fan so it's just spinning around your room too. It's just like a weird tornado of sound happening while you're trying to focus on this one thing.
Yes. Yeah, that's some of these songs do that to me on their own. It's just too much sound when I'm trying to focus on something, and I'm like, there's a lot going on here. There is a lot.
The only other note that I have, it's about that like that last chord of the track, the one I said like has like the great payoff and everything like that. I love it. I think it's fantastic. It feels like it feels slightly different from the entire track, but like in an awesome and very appropriate ending kind of way. Great instrumental work, great harmonies in the vocals. It was a hell of a lot of fun. Just a great way to end the track too. So I don't know. Misfit Love has always been one of like those ones way up there for me. I really like it.
I feel like anything I say is going to ruin that nice little ending. So let's just move on.
It's not the first time that's happened, huh?
Not even close.
Your opinions are like battery acid. Number 6, battery acid.
These chords are making me feel drunk.
Hell yeah.
They're just all over.
I like it though. I think it's great. Like it's a really weird way to start the song. It doesn't last long at all because like that part doesn't really come back. So I like it. It's just unfortunate that they didn't utilize it more in the track. They could have done something with it, but whatever. Not mad about it.
This one specifically, this one for me was the whole main riff at the beginning running through the whole song, and during the chorus the main riff stops for a second. I wrote down goddamn second. Clearly I was upset. Stops for a second. It's pleasing, but it's not pleasing enough to make me enjoy the main riff, because it's like, absence makes the heart grow fonder. We're going to have to fuck off for me to actually miss you. I didn't miss the main riff. So when it came back, I was like, please go away. Oh, it's too much. But the chorus, thumbs up. I like that one. That was good.
We've heard plenty of songs that repeat the same riffs all the time. Like and
it was annoying then too.
I could probably go back and find ones where you're praising it.
Yeah, I know. And it has to be a bop, it has to have, it's like, there's just something to it. It's like, well, you like salt on your French fries. Why don't you like this salt lick? Well, just because I like salt on my fries doesn't mean I want an entire thing of salt.
That's a hell of a comparison.
It's a good one though.
I don't think it is fair. You wrote this review while you were sick. This isn't cool.
My brain is probably caked in mucus.
Good,
or
you
battery
deserve it.
acid, who knows?
And that's why it's all dissolving and bubbly in your skull right now.
That's why my nose runs. It's part of my brain.
Right now, it sounds like you can hear people like walking through a hayfield, but it's literally your brain sizzling inside your skull.
Yes, like when you're straightening your hair and you're burning it all off.
Never done that, but hey, it's good to know that you have. So at least one of us has experience in that. So this is a very bouncy track, though. I think it's a hell of a lot of fun. I love how playful the entire thing feels. A lot of strange layers in this one too, and it does add like a lot of interest to the song. I'm always like caught up on whether some of them are necessary, though. So I mean, like. Not like the most perfect feelings about it, but at the same time, like I always genuinely tend to enjoy this one by the end of it. So I don't really have too many bad things to say about it.
I don't have many things to say about it. Not for lack of trying.
I disagree. You did not try it at all. As much as I appreciate the quirkiness of the song too, like I feel like Misfit Love probably should have been followed up by, I don't want to say like a slow, quieter song, but something a little more mellow that feels kind of heavy, I guess. But like this one was just like kind of full force energy.
What about Suture Up Your Future? Do you think that should have gone up there?
No, I like that towards the end of the album.
Okay. Because during that I said, I think this could have been used a few songs back. So wanted to see if we were on the same wavelength, and clearly we are not.
Actually, okay, I can mention something too. So we're doing 11 songs on this album, and to people who know about the extended version of this album, that goddamn I wish we're covering, because 2 songs on there are The Running Joke and the title track, Air Vulgaris, which is not on the regular album.
It's like last week.
The song Running Joke would fit in perfectly here because like it starts pretty quietly, it starts pretty slow, it builds up, it gets grand, and then done. It's a pretty short song too. It's only like 2.5 minutes, but it's so good. I think that would have fit in pretty well here. Maybe it would have fit in where Suture Up Your Future is and then put Suture here. That would have been fine too. God damn, I really wish we were doing those 2 songs. I love those. And then if you want to throw in The Fun Machine Took a Shit and Died, I wish we were doing that song too, because that's a perfect 10 out of 10 song. Like that's amazing.
Okay, so instead of this podcast leading us to be A&R people, do you think that we could be record producers, but just not the kind that knows anything about the boards, because like that would be me. I would just be standing there behind the chair with my arms crossed going, don't like it. Don't like it. Yeah, that was good. Don't like it. Don't like. Do you think I'd have a career in that?
You maybe, because I mean, like if you have zero experience, you're kind of like Rick Rubin, where you know nothing about music. He literally, by the way, he literally admitted to this. Yeah, he's like, he knows nothing about music. He just kind of sits there, like, nah, do this instead. Nah, do this. So you would literally be Rick Rubin. And we've made this joke before. You have to grow out your hair, shave the tops, grow a huge beard. You have to do it.
Does he ever wear a cowboy hat?
Probably.
Yeah, I can see him in it.
Didn't he do that in the fucking Jay-Z video for 99 Problems?
Never seen it.
Fucking chilling with Jay-Z in black and white imagery and stuff like that. And he looks all cool, long coat, sunglasses, and I think maybe a cowboy. I could be wrong. Oh. I don't know.
Well, if that's the case, then yes. Yes, I will do that.
But meanwhile, technically, I kind of have played the role of record producer, hence why I've released 2 shitty albums.
Nice. Maybe I can produce them next time. They won't be so shitty.
Oh, they'll just get worse. Do this. No.
Savannah, why does this sound like a pop song from 97? Perfect.
Yeah, why did this go from industrial rock to 90s alt rock? What happened here exactly?
I have.
Yeah, you can find out where her touch and influence comes from.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we'll move on now to song number 7, Make It With Chew.
My very first note. Hey, I know this song.
Yes, you do.
Nice breath of fresh air musically. This track sounds like it's more around me than a few of the others so far. So I feel like the production on this one is better, or it's just more what I was looking for. And of course, this one was a single. It's so digestible and appealing. I like it.
Yeah, this is like an appropriately sexy sounding song. And also, like he even said, like, this is the most romantic way he could talk about fucking. So like,
yeah,
it makes sense. And if you listen to the lyrics, you can definitely hear it. Maybe this was like the mellow I could have referred to like a moment ago with the previous track, but
yeah,
I still want something a little heavier though. This song's not exactly heavy. It has like kind of quicker paced moments, but I wouldn't say it's heavy at all.
Yeah.
The piano work in this song too, super simple, but like it really helps hammer that root home, and it's like just a great layer in the verses. So I kind of like having that there.
Yeah, it's a definite like change of pace and sound, because I don't think there was piano, I guess, displayed as piano in any songs before this. And if there was, I didn't catch it, but I really heard it here. It's out front. I like it a lot. The the vocals don't sound very enthused to be making it with me, but maybe he's more of like a nonchalant, cool type, like Arthur Fonzarelli.
Yeah, his idea of like of good sex is just being very quiet and just like, let's get the job done.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, baby, this, whatever. It's just like, you want to fuck? All right. And then that's it. And that's all I imagine. I'm like, cool. I like it. And just my last note on this is I like that the solo is different in tone and effect. So it audibly stands out. It didn't sound the same from beginning to end. It caught my attention. And if this song starts side B on a vinyl, perfect choice.
Yeah, I've been meaning to buy this on vinyl for a while, so I couldn't even tell you anyways. I think this is a Desert Session track, and in case anyone doesn't know, Desert Sessions was like something of a music collective from the the California desert scene that Josh was a part of in the 90s. And I think this song may have been written a long time ago and kind of like reworked to be on this album. So I got the details about that wrong, but I think this is the song, one of those tracks. He does that a lot too. He'll like rework old Desert Session tracks.
Yeah.
Did you look up the vinyl by chance?
I did, but then I was like, why are there 12 tracks on this? So I'm still trying to find
Running Joke or Air Vulgaris would be the extra track, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it was Running Joke.
Motherfucker.
Every single one that I've seen has that as track 6, Running Joke. So
see, that would have come after Misfit Love too. See, I was right.
Yeah.
I was fucking right.
You were right.
And
yeah,
I had
Misfit Love and Battery Acid.
I haven't even looked at it either. So like I just kind of guessed it, and guess what? It fit.
We could be. I'm telling you, let's be producers. It's perfect. It's perfect.
I got to keep doing shit with this podcast. So like you get that like little startup happening. Go to venture capitalists. Tell them that we got a big idea to be music producers. Get all the money. Tell them we'll pay them back in 50 years. And then we'll both be dead by then.
What if I show up unannounced and flash them? Do you think we'll get it easy in?
That depends on who you're flashing.
Anybody. Anyone in a suit that I think works in the building.
If they're old enough, because some of the younger guys might, like, as I can imagine business types are probably pretty piggish as it is. But
they're just like, I ain't touching that.
There might be a couple in there who are like, excuse me, can you leave, please? But yeah, you might get people who might like give you a bit of a loan if you flash them like a bit of nipple, you know, you never know.
All right. We'll think about it. We will think about it, but not too hard.
Just off camera, we're like, you mentioned in a text message you were trying to find other money-making ventures. Well, there you go.
Oh yeah.
And it starts with flashing. Oh wow, how easiest out of your life.
I am a stripping music producer. Oh God, what is this?
You're gonna sell a lot of companies on a lot of records doing that. The only reason why this is at number 1 is because I showed them my tits.
Have you heard of a band called Milli Vanilli before? And they're like, ooh, we'll buy. Here you go. And they'll throw money at me. Oh, by the bucketful.
Just make sure it's the original producers who originally signed them, because they'd be old enough now that any tits, no matter what, would be good tits. So they'll take you in a minute.
Fair enough.
Probably even less. But yeah, well, I can't remember where the hell I was with the song now. We're just talking about your fucking like get rich quick schemes with nudity.
And how we're going to have a record label and a recording studio.
One day, you never know, right? Ko-fi.com/write the record. Help us fund our studio. Whether or not you like the harmonies and the chorus of this song too, because like it's like a lot of falsetto work, there's absolutely no denying in this world or any other about how catchy this chorus is.
Oh my God, yes. And it's just the song title, which I hate, but I like it.
It's definitely up there as one of like the catchiest in their entire catalog. Not the catchiest, but it's definitely up there, I think.
Yeah.
I think this is like a fine little jam tune altogether. Like I appreciate the lower energy at this point too. It is kind of nice because we're getting to the back half of the album now. It's not my favorite, but it's still a really well written track. I would say that. I wrote a side. Why would I write a side note? Oh yeah, side note. Okay, good. I had to read that whole note to understand what the hell I was even talking about. So at the end of this song, it ends with like this kind of ominous sounding guitar riff going out. So another reason why I wish we were doing the fucking title track, besides the fact that it's a 10 out of 10, because I fucking love the title track. It's an amazing track. So that is actually just a bare bones version of the chorus melody of Era Vulgaris.
Oh.
Like that's literally it. I don't know why they decided to throw in. Now that I know it, like I've known for years what the title track sounds like, but knowing what it sounds like and not knowing that's on the album, then you hear that's a teaser, and I fucking hate it. They're like, I didn't give the song 0 just for doing that, because like, goddamn you for taking the title track off the album. Like, who does that?
Foo Fighters.
Oh yeah, Color and Shape.
Color and the Shape.
Touche.
Yeah, from last week.
Yeah, but unlike that, I can't even remember if Color Shape would have been 10 out of 10 or not. I can't remember what I scored it. It was pretty high though. I know that much.
I don't know if we did this, if we spoke about this on record, but we both scored it a 9.5, if not a 9.
Oh yeah, that's right too. Yeah, I didn't score quite a 10. But Era Vulgaris is a fucking 10 out of 10. But yeah, I just want to make that side note. So that's what that is. I don't know why they threw it in, but I don't mind it because I also like the title track a whole lot.
The song is an 8 out of 10 for sound, 0 out of 10 for blue balling me, and I hate it.
I don't know. What's your danceability score? What's your intensity score? What's your hey they play guitar score? What's your weather outside score for this song?
I actually don't have any of those for the rest of these songs, but for this one, if I had to think about it, it is 6 out of 7 pianos. No, 6 out of 7 whole piano notes.
And is that danceability altogether, or?
No. It's just 6 out of 7 piano notes.
Alrighty then. So it's just
A to G.
An incomplete scale.
Yep. But it's A to G. So I mean, at least I know numbers. That's easy. I might not know music, but I know A to G is 7.
You got any of your sharp notes in there? You could add even more keys.
No, just whole notes. That's it.
So it's even less.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we move on, though.
Oh my God, I was going to say something, and then I just said it in my head. I was like, do not say that out loud.
Ooh, is it inappropriate? I'm usually the one saying inappropropriate shit. Come on now.
No, we're good. No, I'm okay. Thank you.
Damn it. Why am I the only pervert here?
No,
So,
no thanks.
Before we move on, speaking of being a pervert, that's actually not the tie-in I wanted to use, but I was just going to say that to be funny anyway. I said I had a story for Make It With Chew.
Oh yes, and I totally forgot. Please.
It's slightly embarrassing, but so I'm gonna leave out some details, but you're gonna get the story regardless, though, so it's fine. So back when this album came out, and actually back when Make It With You was a single, there's a station here in Hamilton that was running a contest to get Queens of the Stone Age tickets. You get that and backstage passes. Now here's the kicker, though. I already had tickets to that show, but then I was like, backstage passes, you say? Sure, why not?
Yeah.
So yeah, of course I answered, and then I was chosen, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. But then so I go to the morning of, not given many details. I go the morning of, 5 other people are there, and I'm just like, this. Oh God, we're gonna have like a fucking contest, like man on the street type deal. So we're waiting down the lobby for a long time. They come get us to bring us up to the station. And just as they're bringing us up to the station, they start telling us what the gist of the contest is. Because also looking around the room, aka the 6 of us, 3 guys and 3 girls. You can't do a contest like this anymore. So basically,
oh fuck no.
We were paired off randomly and had to make out for 2 solid minutes in the recording, the radio station.
I'd be like, I don't want this. I wouldn't want this.
I was 19. I was the youngest one there. So that was awkward because the girl I got paired up with, she's like, are you legal? Because when I was 19,
she did her due diligence by asking.
Well, yeah. Also, it was a 19+ contest, so I mean, like, I wouldn't have been allowed to be there if I wasn't. But I was just like, no, yeah, it's fine. But it's funny because I was in my extra year of high school. I did like a 5th year, so I skipped school that morning to apparently make out with this random girl at a radio station. So it keeps getting better too. So hold on. So we get up to the radio station. It's kind of awkward because it's gonna be the 2 hosts judging us and an expert from the sex shop judging us, and you don't get to choose who you're paired off with, and they just said, like, you know, the wildest couple wins.
Yeah. What if you were gay?
good
Did
luck.
they not care? Yeah.
Well, no one said anything, so I don't know if that would have mattered. Or maybe if you wanted to see Queens that bad, you'd just be like, "Fuck it, lips are lips. I'm gonna kiss somebody today."
Yeah. Eyes tight, real.
You get promised to kiss Josh Homme backstage. No, but so we got paired up with the girl. Made up for 2 minutes, and it was obviously a very weird experience.
Yeah.
Can't exactly look around the room at what's happening. You can only hear what the radio station hosts are saying. The girl and I, like, as this is super awkward, but we're still trying to like get into it as to because we both want to win. We don't necessarily have to go together, but you both win tickets and passes of your own type thing.
Oh, okay. So there's only 2 like winners, 1 female, 1 male then.
Yeah, but it has to be your group though.
Together. Oh, okay.
Yes. I guess we weren't good enough because there's another couple that won. It was like this guy and this girl, and apparently they got so kinky that like she pressed his hands up against the wall and like fucking took full control, like got super sexy about it. Here's the I left this part for last because this is the good kicker. The guy who won, I was making it with his girlfriend. Yeah, so there was video of this online. It's gone now. Like the station recorded this a long time. I'm purposely not saying what station it was either.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it still exists somewhere. It's fucking humiliating. But anyways, like you see it in the video, like hands pressed against the wall, and like I'm making with this dude's girlfriend, and he's over there like getting super kinky with this other girl. I'm just like, I wonder what that ride home was like.
So would you have like individually won 2 tickets for yourself and then 2 tickets for the other person, or is it just 1 for you, 1 for them? Because if that guy won 2, he's just going to take his girlfriend anyway.
Yeah, the thing is, like we would each get 2 tickets and 2 passes. So regardless, they had the advantage the whole time.
Yeah, the fuck! I would have punched them both afterwards.
And then if they got paired up with each other just by chance, like, well, the chemistry's always already there, so chances are they're already gonna
been fucking.
I was gonna say they're like 69ing like right in the middle of the fucking station. It's like, dude, this was a makeout contest.
Right. And then they're just giving them the passes so they'll stop.
It's like, we're not done. It's like, we don't need you to, please. But then the one host in the back just still got like the camera out, recording from a distance.
That is such a weird thing. And the fact that like you didn't know that before you showed up, it's like, ugh.
I remember one of the guys who were in the elevator when we were going up, that after we had learned what was happening, so we were all bunched together in the elevator. That was weird. Mm-hmm. But then this one guy, the taller guy, just kind of looked around and was like, has anyone got the HIV?
himself? That's
I guess
funny.
So. And then at that point, they handed us all Listerine mouth strips. And that was my morning. I skipped school to make out with a girl to not get Queens of the Stone Age tickets, but I already had tickets anyway, so I didn't care. I had floor tickets, so I was good to go.
Yeah, you're like, no, I'll just throw it at the wall, see if it sticks. Didn't stick, and now I have to go to the dentist. Thank you.
So I tried to make it with her, but I clearly did not. So that's my very interesting story of the day.
That is not even close to what I thought that story was going to be, and thank you very much for exceeding all of my expectations.
Did you think I was going to have to go make out with a random stranger on the street?
When you said it earlier in the show, I had no idea it was going to be any sort of making out. So thank you very much. That pleased me.
Well, with the song "Make It with Chew," I guess they kind of just did a play on words or something like that.
Yeah. Gross.
All right, we'll move on now from that fucking weird, embarrassing story. Song number 8, 3s and 7s.
Okay. You first on this one.
I just talked a lot. You first on this one. My mouth is dry now.
Yeah, but I'm gonna give everything away. Okay.
That's kind of what this part's for.
Yeah, fine, I guess. There's something about this from the start that makes my brain tingle. I don't know if I subconsciously remember this song or if it's the clean guitars that please me so much. Oh, I like this one. This is so fun to listen to. And it kind of starts with a punk vibe, and I'm down for it. And I have a lot more, but I'll
it could be vaguely familiar only because, like, again, this was a single, and I heard this on the radio many times. I don't think there was ever a music video, and if there was, I had never seen it. But I've heard this on the radio. And also, you were likely still in Thunder Bay or whatever at this point, or where the hell you might have been at this point in time.
Yes.
Because this was, again, like 2007. So I don't know what your radio station sound like out there, but ours we played any single except for 666. Actually, is the only single off this album that we didn't hear on the radio.
I don't remember a lot of Queens of the Stone Age on the radio. I definitely saw any music videos. Maybe that's why this one sort of slipped by me. But the radio stations back home, they're all like Nickelback, Default, April Wine, Foreigner, pretty much dad rock.
We had that here too.
Yeah, but that was like it.
That's exactly what I grew up on. So I actually kind of like all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I have a Spotify playlist called work music, and that's all it is like John Mellencamp and Bruce Springsteen, and
I would not put John Mellencamp on that list.
Oh, I love that. I love it. I love that Heartland. I love the I love America, but not the I love guns and trucks, more like a I love the American dream. But then he stopped making that kind of music because the American dream didn't exist. So, but he was optimistic.
How Canadian of you.
Yeah.
I love songs about American patriotism, says the Canadian.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I listen to songs about Canada, and I don't want to listen to songs about the group of 7 painters. No, thank you. I do not care.
Why do I feel like Gord Downey probably wrote that? Gordy Downey. I can mix up his name all the time.
Or Gordon Lightfoot.
Hey, oh, yeah. Well, he did something about a boat that sunk. But
yeah,
anyways.
Boring.
It's like most famous song. This song though, 3s and 7s, absolutely iconic riff. Like especially in the Queens of the Stone Age discography, like that riff is up there. Like with like Little Sister, No One Knows, like those types of tracks. Like this riff is up there as like one of the more iconic ones. Stellar creativity to be able to come up with that and just make it work, like with a lot of fluidity. Is fluidity a word? Regardless, we use it. Make it work with like a lot of fluidity with the rest of the track too. So I think that's super cool. And it's also a pretty exciting track to have this far into the album without feeling like it's too overboard either. Like it's energetic, it's fun. It's got like a fun, almost kind of shuffly type feeling to it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's nice to have this one. I do like this.
I as well like it. If my first 3 points didn't direct you that way. The quiet percussion at the beginning is like before any of the actual like hollow drums are played. It's like a sort of ting-tinging. I like that. I found that kind of interesting. And so is the tambourine in my left ear that goes on as the song actually kicks in. That was cool too. I felt like with this one, I noticed a lot of the little extra embellishments around it. I don't know whether it was because I liked the song, so I was like really laser focused, or if it was just more obvious to me. But I really enjoyed that the intro guitar bookended the verse and like didn't overwhelm everything. It stopped when the verse came in and then continued on between the verse and chorus. That was cool because if it ran through the whole thing, I'd be like, okay, this is just a little much.
That would have been, yeah. Huh.
But I really like that. I wish I remembered this song like from when it came out so I could say, yeah, I liked it the whole time. But no, this is like my first time consciously hearing it. Stellar. I like it. Last note, the song entered by kicking open the door and left without saying a word. So punk.
Very much the Irish goodbye or Irish exit, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You show up to the party and you just fuck off when everyone's not looking.
Right.
The one thing, my final one actually has to do with the bridge of the song too, because I really love that bridge between the chorus and like the final guitar solo stretch. I love the slower, heavier pace. Like a lot of great work happening like between those two. It just, I like how it makes the song feel slightly different, but still kind of like in the same realm. So I really enjoy that. It's brief, but like it felt perfectly length. Like it wasn't too short, wasn't too long. I liked what we got. The song, it's not even that long anyway. It's only 3.5 minutes. So I mean, you don't want to stick on one of those things for too long anyway.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it did what it had to do, said what it had to say, and that was it. Pieced right out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then moving on. Song number 9, "Suture Up Your Future." As I said, this was I believe one of the lullaby session songs that made it to this album. So technically, this was the first one written for the album.
If the last track was the entry to the party, this song is the next day.
I was gonna say this is the lonely walk home.
Right?
A retrospective, like reflective walk home.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was just imagining laying on a mattress on the floor, just staring at the ceiling and just shit strewn about. But I like how bass forward this song is because it makes the guitar that much more pleasing when it adds, like when the guitar adds like bits here and there and kind of embellishes the bass. There's not any time to get sick of it because it's barely there. And I like the slow, moody-ish vibe that it keeps alive by not overwhelming everything with guitar. So that was cool. I like the restraint.
Yeah, this one was a good slowdown to have at this point, especially after the energy of 3s and 7s.
Yeah.
And this is definitely giving off end of album vibes. Like we're getting there 2 songs away. So like you can see this kind of winding down, although the next 2 songs are pretty energetic, but still like it's a good placement for this one too. I love the swing style drum beat. I think it was like a whole hell of a lot of fun. It's mostly minimal though through the verses because it's just like that simple like snare, tom, and like a kick drum like kind of shuffle combo. So I really like that. I thought that was cool. I really enjoyed the second half of this track too. Like the first half was fine, but like the second half is like where it starts to get like a little heavier and noisier. It really kind of increases the drama and emotion brought on by the first half of the track. So it gives you like 2 halves of the whole. Like that's the best way I could describe it because like it feels like 2 different tracks, but at the same time like it just fits together so well. I think it's just like really good storytelling even outside of lyrics.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So I don't know if it's the vocals, but the way it kind of flows. Now, I don't know if this is really like an analogy or euphemism, but the way it flows covers me in a nice warm fleece blanket and kisses me on the forehead and tells me to have a good night. But then we have the outro, which I like. It would have made for a good end of album bit, which I wrote here and then realized that the last song does sort of have a noisy outro, which is perfect. I like that.
We'll
get there when we get there. But I'm in my nice little warm fleece blanket. I'm like, oh, I feel so good listening to the song. And then that noise, it's like someone grabbed the back of the blanket and ripped it off. And they're like, wake up, motherfucker. I'm like, okay. And then the song ends. And I'm like, oh, I feel so torn and confused. But it was like a fun confused, so it wasn't bad.
Getting comfy in bed and the whole house just starts crumbling around you, but you're like, for some reason, you don't leave your mattress. It's like one of those dreams where it's like you're watching bad shit happen, but you don't run away from it.
Yeah, and the only thing to get away from it is to just wake up.
Yeah. I will say I really again don't really mean to get too far into the lyrics or anything like that, but like it's just in my head now. I do appreciate the message of this song too, because like it's one of those things I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to, but like I'm one of those people, especially like growing up, where it's like I kind of wish I could have like looked forward a little more than looking back, because the song is about like putting the past behind you, just moving on, and like fuck the past, here's the future, and I got to do that now. And this is all confirmed by Josh himself again by that video that I watched. And again, especially for us millennials, because like here we go with the millennial sympathy. I know, right? Bullshit. Anyway, it's funny how we're in that generation where it's just like, well, we're fucked by the past, and the future is going to be difficult. So it's like, where do we go? What do we do? Like how can things be fixed at this point? So it's still trying to make the most of the future and trying not to let the past drag you down too much. So I do appreciate that, although in the reality of things, obviously, it's going to be hard for the future. Let's just say that much.
So what you have to do to make yourself as a millennial succeed is you have to murder your family, take all their money. So there you go. Finances done. Squatters' rights in the States. So just cross the border, steal someone's house, live there for 30 days. I'm sure you own it by then. And then have kids early, or just take young kids and then like kidnap them and live vicariously through them. So you kind of got that youthful, and then you have money and you have a house. So really, you have everything that we currently don't have. Also, maybe subscribe to some sort of like comedy TV service, because that's literally the only joy you're ever going to feel, because currently millennials have none. So.
Well, you also don't have to kill your parents. All you can do is wait for them to go on like a 1 or 2 week vacation, get to their house. If you're there for at least 2 weeks, that's when squatters' rights kick in. So then you can have the locks changed, it wouldn't matter. And everything in the house you can liquidate, therefore making money that way. Your parents are still alive, they're going to hate you, but who the fuck cares, because you literally just robbed them blind anyway. So you don't have to murder anyone, kidnap kids. Like, listen to you being fucking evil. I mean, mine's not much better, but still.
Oh my God, I'm going to cough my face off.
Well, I'm just trying to find the more legal loophole version of this.
I just imagine you're like early to mid 20s. You're visiting your parents because you no longer live at home. Your parents go out to go grocery shopping, say, you good to stay? And you're like, yeah, cool. And as soon as they leave, you change the law.
Yeah, like already start putting their shit up for sale on like Facebook Marketplace, Kijiji, eBay,
You've
wherever.
been taking pictures of it for weeks beforehand.
In plus side, if you know where in the house, if they have something for valuables, you know exactly what it is. Like that jewelry case that's hidden there somewhere, like that shoebox that has like fucking rainy day stash in it. Like you're good to go.
That is very funny. Oh my god!
Liquidate.
I'm glad you're on board.
Liquidate the entire inside of the house. Sleep on like just a sleeping blanket on the floor for a while until you can build up like more shit for yourself. Good stuff.
Because God forbid you save the stuff that's in the house. You like liquidate their couch for the money to buy a couch.
Hell yeah. Just a cheaper couch. You're basically taking everything in the house, selling it, and downgrading it all. So it's like you're actually making a profit on living like shit.
It's awesome. What us millennials deserve. Less than appropriate.
That's all our future's going to be. So get used to it now while you're still in your planning phase.
Oh, my Lord.
Make sure you start cutting off ties now so that way it's not more emotionally scarring when you have to like damage your entire family.
Yeah, you don't want a river in the road of your relationship.
Hell no. It's too bad because I had one more note about the previous track.
You don't.
The ending guitar strum, I'll read it verbatim. The ending guitar strum almost feels like some sort of meditation, peaceful instrumental mantra. If that was the idea, I totally dig it, even if it was brief. There you go. That was my final note.
Nice.
But rewind. Okay, something about River in the Road. There you go. So
whatever she said. She talks a lot.
You went too early. That's why.
Yeah.
You're a grower, not a shower. Anyways.
Okay, I was gonna make a joke like that too. I'm like, how do I do that without being weird? So thank you.
You preed. Anyways, song number 10, River in the Road, as you had already mentioned. I love the pacing and the bounciness of this track. I think it's fantastic. Josh Homme called it a samba, so there you go. It's like specifically stylized as a samba. I could not point that out because I'm not entirely certain of it myself, but I will believe him, especially because he said he was getting into that kind of music around the making of this album. I love the sound of like desperation in the melodies in this track, but it still managed to somehow be so playful, so I kind of really like that.
I was hung up on that siren sound that starts the song and keeps on through at least half of the verse. I kept muting the song because I was like, is it? No, it's not here. No, it's still not outside. So it caught me off guard, but I mean, cool, I suppose.
It's pretty quiet in the verses, though. It's not really all that bothersome.
It's not bothersome, but it's like when you hear, like, if you have headphones on and you hear a thunderstorm, you hear some banging and you're like, what was that? And then you listen, you hear nothing, but you put the music back in and you hear it and you're like, what is that? Because it feels like something that needs my attention, but it's not. So I don't know. It got my attention. So good on them, I suppose. This is the song that I was saying earlier that I feel like the repeating riffs fill me with this anticipation that something else might happen, and then it doesn't. If it does, it wasn't obvious enough for me to get it, but it's like some of these songs have this, like I said, the main riff, and it just repeats all the way through. And sometimes I'm like, okay, like are we building up to something? Are you going to say something else? And then when they don't, I was like, man, like, I felt like that was a missed opportunity, but like I normally say, maybe it's an artistic vision I don't have.
Which is strange because like I felt the difference between the verse and the chorus because the chorus is definitely a lot smoother. It carried the intensity, but still like managing to like smooth out everything. So and like the verses, I mean, I guess it felt like a rushing river in a way, like if you want to go with the lyrics, although River in the Road doesn't necessarily mean an actual like real river. I'm pretty sure it refers to blood or something like that. Is that a fucking fruit fly in front of me? Because my beer can, my empty ass beer can, it's flown by me like 3. I want to kill it so bad. Shit.
You have fruit flies and I got cats.
I have a single fruit fly. That's the only one. It's probably because my damn beer can.
I've seen like 6 of them.
6?
Yeah.
You have not seen 6.
I have not. I don't even think I've seen that one.
You think I am some sort of pig? Anyways, I can't do that transition yet anyways, because we're not there yet.
Oh, God damn it. Yes.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I felt the difference between the two, and I actually kind of really like that. Even if you go back to the chorus too, nearly with like no lyrics in the chorus, it's still really easy to sing along to, mainly because it's just like kind of singing one note type thing. Yeah. It's easy, really airy, and there's still like a great intensity to the music. So I love how this energy is just being upkept the entire time. A lot of fun with this one.
Speaking of the vocals, my last note, I do not have very many for this song. I really enjoyed the moderately sultry and deep vocals, like deep voice vocals. I like it. I feel like his singing, because I'm not very familiar with it at all. I don't know if he can go pretty high, but it's very pleasing to me when it's deep, and it has nothing to do with me liking baritone singers and bass.
Oh, is that a fact?
Things that make my brain feel good, but I just think it fits him, and I think it sounds good.
He notably usually goes higher because he does like a lot of falsetto work. Oh, like on other albums, he does like a lot of falsettos. So like usually, like in the verse he's singing, in the chorus, the really low voice is in the harmony is Mark Lanigan.
Oh, maybe it's him then.
I think this is. I could be wrong. I believe this is the last album Lanigan appeared on, because he wasn't technically like a full-time band member. It's just kind of like. Josh referred to it as like a revolving door policy with him. It's like you can come and go as you please. Whatever you want to help out with, that's fine. If you don't want to help out at all, that's cool too. Just do whatever. Because also Mark had like 2 different bands at that time. He had Screaming Trees and his solo shit. So, I mean, this song though, Lanigan was definitely in for like the very deep background harmonies. And he appears in a number of other Queens of the Stone Age songs. So if you heard these deep voices, chances are that was him.
Okay, cool. Well, either way, pleasing.
Oh, he was on Rated R, actually, the one that we did. He did a few songs on that one too. So there you go. That was too long ago that I can't mention any songs because you probably won't remember them anyway. I
don't even remember who you are.
Exactly. Perfect. 81 episodes later. Mm-hmm. I love that the vocals like never really get aggressive in the song either. They kind of keep their like consistency in contrast to the instrumentals. So I think it definitely helps the song emote a lot more. And again, with the lyrical stuff, as far as I'm concerned, the song is about like, as compared to the other songs that are like about like selfishness and just trying to find like fame for nothing, the song is apparently about like wanting to like more or less sacrifice yourself for somebody else. Like you two are like kind of fighting back and forth, like, no, I'll fight for the greater good. No, I will. So it's just kind of like, I'm willing to do this for you. Like that's what the song is more or less about. So I found that pretty interesting. So when I say when it allows the song to emote more, that's kind of what I mean, but especially with the lyrics.
Mm-hmm. I got nothing else for that one. Yeah, no. I was leaving on a high note, positive.
Well, I mean, that song's still kind of positive in a way, that message. It's a little sad, but it's still kind of positive.
Oh, I just meant what I have to say, because normally I'm a pessimistic douche. So, yay, the deep voice. Nice, like.
Good, facts. It's kind of short and to the point. It's a fantastic track, though. Gives you a lot to digest in a short run time. So I really do appreciate this song.
Nice.
Now let's move on to the final track on the album, song number 11, Run, Pig, Run.
It's a song about cops.
I don't believe so. No. Oh, God, what did he say it was about? I already forget. I can't fucking remember. But yeah.
Because
it's not about cops.
I can't discern most of his lyrics, only because like it seems like one of those bands that you have to read them while listening to it, and then you know what the lyrics are. But if you don't read them, you're like, what in the world is he saying most of the time?
Yeah.
I was just assuming that this had to do with cops. I will give them credit. The song did change throughout, but I just couldn't get into it.
Really?
It's just, I don't know what it is. Couldn't really get into it. I think I'm stuck on the things that annoy me, but just aren't annoying like in general. I guess that's really what makes this my opinion. The part that changes, what the fuck does this mean?
You can't say you hate it, not know what you're talking about.
Well, it's one of those ones where it has like a side comment, but I didn't do any punctuation whatsoever. Okay. The part the song changes to, the one where the 16th note strums end, is the best part in my opinion. No time, no explanation.
Maybe towards
just
the end
when
of the
the
track.
when the it stops. That I liked. It was good. And I like how noisily it ends. Definitely how the album should end. Perfect choice. I liked it. And I wanted it many tracks earlier. Very glad that I got it here.
I like how you like so much about it, but then you're just like, it still kind of annoys me though.
Well, it's not my worst. So there's that. It's between
so,
1 and 10, but it's not 11.
This song is like so intense and so fun, and also this is what I was talking about with Josh Homme's falsettos. I mean, like,
yeah,
the entire song is falsetto. This is a great album ender, in my opinion. I love this. It's still carrying over like the desperation sound of River in the Road, going a little heavier without the bouncy feeling though. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like a lot of intensity all over the track. Like, holy shit, this one's just like almost relentless right to the end, like nearly to the end, I should say. But it's definitely the chorus too, because like you have these like long drawn out vocals that are super easy to sing. They're really awesome. The running guitar riff behind like just the main guitars too is super cool. I fucking love the way it sounds, like the constant like descending kind of guitar scale. Love that so much. The drum work over this track is really, really good too. I really love this. It's a lot of fun. The tom and kick combos all over, just really effective. The beat's aggressive. Just a lot of fun to listen to.
My last note, and it is a positive, or at least it's optimistic. This one will take me a while to get into, but I do see some glimmers of hope that I will like it. So I think this is the one where I got to listen to it more and more and more. And then I'm like, wow, this is a really good song. But after 3 listens, I'm like, don't know how I feel. So it'll just take a while.
This song usually gets me going. I love this one. I think in the beginning, when I first started, like when I first got this album, maybe I wasn't as fond of it. I didn't hate it, definitely, but like I wasn't super fond about it, I guess. But like years later, I could say like I adore this song. This one's fantastic. I love the energy behind it. I love the aggression behind it. I kind of like that the vocals are all in falsetto, because like it could just be as easy to scream a track like this. But I don't know. There's something again about that contrast about like these like higher light type vocals and like this very like aggressive, energetic instrumentation that I just really, really enjoy. So yeah, I don't know. I really do like this one though. I've always, I can't say always, but for the most part, always like this one. And yeah, that slower, drawn out ending too, the one you're talking about where it gets like noisier towards the end and everything.
Yeah.
Like that. Excellent energy while bringing everything down. So it's like you really appreciate what's happening. There's just a lot going on. I love it. I think it's great.
Nice.
Fantastic. That means we are now at the end of our discussion of Queens of the Stone Age and their album Era Vulgaris. So thank you very much for making it this far in the episode. If you did, make sure you let us know what you think of the album down below in the comments of wherever you're listening, audio or video. It doesn't matter. You can tell us wherever, because we're curious to know your opinion. We told us yours. Now you tell us ours. Show me yours. Show it. We're not going to do that part. No, that's a little weird. I already told you about a weird makeout story. We don't need to make this even weirder. Savannah said she was going to flash. I talked about making out with a random girl. This has been quite the episode so far.
Yay. And if you're new here, why?
If you're new here, just realize there's still a goose hunt, a wild goose egg hunt, or whatever the hell it's called, for Savannah's OnlyFans feet account. So if no one's found it yet, still waiting on the winner. Winner gets a free subscription.
Good luck.
Alrighty then. So while you're telling us what you thought about the album, you can always tell us more about what you thought about the album. Like, where would you rank the songs? Where would you rate the record? Well, we're going to find one of those out right now. It's time to rank the songs, because that's kind of part 2 of the podcast. So above our heads, boom, graphics have changed. There are names, there's numbers. There's going to be more names, those song names to be specific, because that's kind of what we do here. Least favorite to favorite, worst to best, best to bester, however you want to look at it. It doesn't really matter. It's just how we rank it.
Excellent.
All right, so I guess without any further ado, just because we're probably pushing this along way too long anyways, it's time to actually start ranking the songs. So why don't we do that now? Let's get started. I don't think we had 5 matches last week. I don't know if we're having anything this week.
I'm going to say 1 for optimism, but I would not be surprised if it was 0. It's feeling like a one-off each one.
I have some for sure X's though on the list. I can tell you that much. But the universe needs to balance itself out. We need to have like 5 episodes in a row of zeros. So we'll see if this is one of them.
All right.
Song number 11, Into the Hollow.
Battery Acid.
Speaking of one-offs, number 10, Battery Acid.
Number 10, River in the Road. I know that one's not your number 9.
No, it wouldn't be. That one hurts a little bit because I like that one. Number 9, Make It With Chew.
Number 9, Misfit Love.
Another good one. Number 8, Threes and Sevens.
Holy fuck. Number 8, Run Pig Run.
Run, Pig, Run. This is going to be a 0, isn't it? I know it. Number 7, Suture Up Your Future.
Number 7, Into the Hollow.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those days, huh?
Oh my god, I think they're flipped.
It kind of looks like it. Number 6, I'm Designer.
Thank you. Okay, so we are a rotisserie then. What I'm Designer is the stick, and then yours, and we flip.
Oh, we're the Snakes and Arrows tour from Rush, where they brought out the rotisserie chicken machines and not the washing machines.
Yes. No, that was cool.
All right, let's keep moving on. Song 5, Turning On the Screw.
I agree with your number 5 pick, sir.
Oh, wow, we got 2.
For once.
We might have one more, but I kind of doubt it.
Okay.
Turn on the Screw. So song number 4, River in the Road.
Number 4, Sick, Sick, Sick.
Okay, we do not have that one then.
What? We have 2. Pretty good.
Yeah, that's better than I was anticipating. Number 3, Sick, Sick, Sick. There's a one-off, though.
Number 3, Suture Up Your Future. Definitely not a one-off.
Yeah, not even really close. Number 2, Run Pig Run.
Number 2, Make It With Chew.
Make It. And my number 1 is one of the ones that was like way high on your list, Misfit Love.
3s and 7s. I like that song a lot.
I do too, but I could never put it out in my top 5 for this album.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just obviously we have different opinions on that.
Well, we also have different time lengths that you've spent with it. It's like, well, you know what? This girlfriend, she's not that good. But then someone who's been with her for 10 years, it's like, yeah, but she warms up after like the 6th or 7th year. You just got to give it time. Got to spend a little more time with it.
You said you watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's a slow fucking burn, but at the same time, you know it gets good eventually.
I think that's why I've never seen Lord of the Rings. I don't trust that it'll get good.
Get the Coles Notes of the first movie, watch The Two Towers, and then watch kind of Return of the King, parts of it. That's
Red Eye in the Sky, Dumbledore, Dirty Feet, Small People, New Zealand, and A Ring. That's all I know about the movie.
I feel like somewhere in there you must have been racist, but I can't be certain yet. I'll have to go back and listen.
I don't know. I'm just imagining the movie and what I've seen. Oh, and a lot of green jackets.
Supposing so, huh? Well, while I figure out how I'm going to cancel you, we're just going to move right on to the last part of the podcast. We're going to rate the record. There you go. Okay. Swish, whatever. Hey, look at that. It's the album rating screen, that thing that we always look at the end of the episodes, because this is where we figure out where albums go. And last week, Savannah, with her second ever A-tier pick, and it's like the second closest album I think we've ever done. No, actually, there was actually other albums too. But regardless, like A-tier, the Foo Fighters we did last week. Holy shit.
And it's number lucky 7 on the entire list. Woo-hoo.
For now.
For now, because God knows you'll pick 3 more and knock me out of the top 10.
And yeah, because that one was like your score was 80.77, mine was 80.76, then the album was 80.77.
That was fantastic.
Well, the question is, will Queens of the Stone Age knock that down a peg today? Well, I guess this is where we find out. Maybe it'll be a B tier like always, because how is that thing fucking stacked? So let's find out where this album goes. So we got to start rating the record. So why don't you go ahead and let me know about your score, huh?
Okay, so there's only 11 tracks. So I was like, okay, I like some of these. I don't really like some of these. I had no preconceived notion of where this was going to land. But my top 3, I did rank them fairly high. So it brought the score up to 79.45. Still less than you would like. Still in the B tier. I have to uphold tradition.
Well, I probably should have said something about the score too, like what your score was going to be. I will say I guess it's probably higher than I was anticipating, so that's not bad. It doesn't bother me that you did an A tier. It's way the hell higher than you did rated R, I can tell you that much. I can't even really tell you where the hell that one was anyway.
Congratulations to me.
But anyways, so yeah, 79.45, not bad. This score is going to be close to, no, I can't even say too close to yours either, but regardless, I think I scored it pretty well, damn well too. It is 85.45, because god damn do I love Era Vulgaris, which means 82.45, which means Foo Fighters are now knocked down the spot. 82.45 is Queens of the Stone Age Era Vulgaris. It's A-, but where does that go on our list?
It goes straight up your fucking ass is where that
Ooh,
goes.
comfy, because I like this album.
It is snuggled in between Mr. Bungle and 9 Inch Nails, so it knocks your 9 Inch Nails down a peg as well.
That's okay. It's still higher than your picks. Jeez.
Yeah. But just like make me feel a little better, please. Come on.
You're still you have 2 albums in the A tier. There you go. That makes you feel better.
It won't. What, 3 episodes from now when they're all eradicated completely? Yowza.
But look at it this way, though. I mean, overall with the show, 3 episodes into season 5, we got 2 A tiers so far in a row.
True. While true, my laughter is because I actually looked up what I rated R.
And it's low, isn't it?
And I was a bitch.
You did. I think I gave it like I give it a pretty decent score. I don't even remember what I gave it, but still.
You rated it 80 solid.
Okay.
80, that's it. 63.64. It's like it robbed me and then killed my family, squatters' rights in my house, and then put a hit on me. That's how I rated it. I'd like to think that I'm getting a little better.
I would like to think so. God, you're gonna have to redux every single one of your picks at this point, because there's something of a difference between rated R and Era Vulgaris, but I mean that much of a difference, like holy shit.
Well, I mean, I'm getting to be a better music producer, so at least I can hear things a little better now. But wow, that really fucking sucks.
Well, I mean, yeah, that one was your fault. I had high hopes for that one at the time. It sunk, but hey, this one kind of redeems it, I guess. Because I
hope so.
We both like this one better than rated R. So, and this one ended up in the A tier, so I can't complain.
Yeah, and you shouldn't.
And I won't. So, because that's another A tier for Kris. Good choice, Kris. Thanks, me. No problem.
What a surprise.
Well, yeah, surprises aside, it's time to wrap up the episodes now. So, hey, thank you very much for making it all the way through this entire episode. We appreciate you being here, and make sure once again that you let us know what you thought about this album down in the comments below, wherever you're listening, because it doesn't matter. There's comment sections everywhere. What did you think of the album? Do you agree or disagree with us? Where would you rank the songs? Where would you rate the record? We want to know all of this stuff, so please let us know down there. You can also let us know on our social medias over on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok what you thought about this too, because we're just curious to do this, because it's musical commentary and this is a podcast, and the audience is kind of supposed to be part of it, so play your damn part. Do it. Yeah,
tell us we're wrong.
Yeah, people have already done that. So,
well, I'm just encouraging it so then I don't feel bad when I read that I'm wrong. I'm like, oh no, I asked them. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, we got to get that balance of every one good thing said. There's 4 bad things said.
Yes, exactly.
What a life we lead. But anyways, all those social medias, all the streaming links, everything you can do to help support the show, including requesting albums too, because by all means we want more requests, all found at ratetherecord.ca, so make sure you're checking that out, because you could also get Rate the Record merch over there too. I only kind of hinted that earlier, but yes, we do have merch. A few ideas in there now. I have a few more cooking in my stupid dumb skull up here, so maybe I'll get those out eventually when I have time. And do you have any ideas for merch?
Not particularly. I'm sure I can come up with some dumb stuff like a horse saddle or a riding crop or something stupid, but nothing useful.
I have an idea, and if anyone can legitimately do this and the artwork looks good, I will see to it that you are paid handsomely for it. What we need is a Savannah shirt, and what that is, it's going to be Savannah with the top of her skull off and her brain showing, and it looks like a wheat field, but it's like a bunch of bass guitar necks, and then just the words "makes my brain feel good" above it. We need this, and I will commission the best looking artwork for it. And also, I would literally give any even if we don't choose yours, I would repost the hell out of it, give you all the credit in the world, and be like, "This is fucking amazing."
Okay, so 2 conditions. 1, I will provide the headshot. And 2, it has to be done in that overtly like comical, cartoony way that like emo bands started to have their merch in like the 2010s, where it's very balloony. Yeah, do it like that. Yeah.
I can imagine being a little balloony, yeah, the stuff like that. Like the kind of like edgier older kid cartoons and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Now you have a job, everyone. Do that. That'd be great. I would honestly love to see that.
It's a little bit of blood around the rim where my head's flopped open.
Yeah, nice. Sure. That's just like trickling down a little bit, but then just like golden fields of bass guitar necks. Makes my brain feel good.
Yeah, you know what? I actually really like that. That's
and really I just came up with that right now, too. That's perfect.
I like that a lot.
See, we say good things at the end of the podcast. Why don't you listen all the way through? This is what we make it so long for.
Yeah, exactly.
We've passed the 10-minute threshold, so we should be able to make money. But anyways, I guess we'll just kind of like let you go because that's kind of like all we have to do now. But before we go, there is one more thing because we usually like to give you like a little sneak preview what to expect next week. And next week, Savannah has her choice once again. So what is it going to be and why is it going to be John Mellencamp and why am I going to detour it?
Okay, so it's not going to be John Mellencamp this time, unless. Okay, hold on. Where do watermelons go in the summer?
John Mellencamp.
It's John Cougar's Mellencamp. Yes. Now, for next week, the band and album that we will be doing, the artist was opening up for another well-known band, and they were supporting the album we will be doing next week, and they were completely kicked off the tour. It has nothing to do with drugs or alcohol or musical ability, but the main act kicked them right off the tour for being. So
I already know because this band opened for Dave Matthews Band, and this band spoke out against the shipbridge incident, and obviously Dave Matthews didn't like that, so he kicked them off the tour.
Yeah, right into the river.
Right into the shit river, right onto the boat with all the shit covered tourists.
Exactly.
Long story short, never go to Chicago. I think that's where it happened anyway.
Well, and don't they dye their river green for St. Patrick's Day? I think in Chicago. So I figured
that to cover up the shit.
That's exactly where I was going with that. Yes. Yeah.
So go for the shit river, stay for CM Punk. I guess I have no idea.
Yeah.
Anyways, try to guess what we're doing next week. If you can off of that. No, it's nothing to do with Dave Matthews, I guess. But until then, go listen to some awesome music. Here, Vulgaris by Queens of the Stone Age. Why not? Fucking do it. Here's the shit. Right? And we'll see you again real soon. So take care, friends.
Bye-bye.